Hey, Tony Gaskins here. I'm gonna tell you one of the things. I ain't got too much time going up to the car dealership. One of the things I just seen is what triggered this thought. Car passed me. Car was behind me. I look in the thing. I see a Durango, and it got a little running like a little light beam on it. So it looked like an undercover police. But then it pulled from behind me and come up beside me. And I look at the tag, because if it's undercover police, they typically have a yellow tag on the bike. I look at it, it got a regular white tag, and then beside it got the little Mason symbol. And I say, okay, he think he him. He think he somebody. One of the things I noticed is that men love to be part of something. Men love to be part of something. Men are constantly looking for an association, like to be a part of a group. And that is because most men lack identity. See, I'm gonna tell you now, when you know the one and only true God, the Father of Jesus Christ, I'm telling you, that gives me, I have no desire whatsoever. I have no desire. And I never really understood why almost every man I meet want to be a part, want to be a Mason, want to be a Q dog, want to be a Alpha, Psi Alpha, a Kappa, want to be a part of something. I never really understood it, but now I come to realize the reason why I don't have any desire to be in a secret society or a part of some type of organization where I got to emasculate myself and then be so-called built back up, and I got to be jumping through hoops, and I got to be doing all this stuff, is because I know God. When you truly know God, yes, a lot of Christian people in the Greek fraternities, which don't make sense in itself, because when you in God, you don't need to be in nothing else. You got all the networking, all the resources you need. When you know God, God owns the world. So that don't make no sense. And I remember asking my college teammate, say, bro, why you doing the alpha? Why you did the Phi Alpha thing? He said, man, because I grew up with my mom and 3 sisters. He said, so I just want a brotherhood. I wanted a brotherhood. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I grew up with my dad. And then my other teammate, he was a running back like me. I was like, man, why you doing the Alpha thing? Because he asked me to do it with him. And so I started the process with him. And he was like, well, my dad a Alpha, my brother Alpha. I'm like, okay. So you got a lineage of lames. This is what I said in my head. No disrespect to anybody. It's just what I said in my head at the time. You know, I'm 18, 19 years old. And so I started to go through the process, and we was at a small school. We had to go to a bigger school where they had the chapter at. We went over there, and you know, we doing the little stuff that they do, and I'm looking around, I'm like, everybody in here lame. I'm like, man, everybody in here lame. Like, I'm looking around, and I'm just thinking this in my head, like that was the term, like lame. I really ain't used corny or cornball, but I'm just looking around, and I just ain't feel no energy or the energy that I had. You know, the energy of just feeling like him, like just feeling like that one, you know, one of them ones. Like, I ain't feel that from nobody. I'm like, you don't get no kind of booty. I'm like, this is just what I was saying in my head. I'm like, so what I noticed is each one of the guys that was in this here little organization, they was all lame. And they say they were telling me, oh, Martin Luther King won. Well, I've been watching the Martin Luther King documentary, and same thing. Martin Luther King wasn't cut from that cloth that I came from. You know, like when I look at him, I'm like, oh, okay, I would have thought he was a lame. Like, I mean, you know, led the movement and all that, but just personally, I would have, if I know, I would have been like, oh, okay, yeah. And so I went to 2 of the meetings, and I stopped going. I'm like, this is lame, bro. Y'all paying for friends, basically. Like, y'all paying for friends because ain't none of y'all upline or whatever y'all call it rich and famous. Like, okay, Martin Luther King was an alpha. You don't know him. This other person you talking about was an alpha. You don't know him. He ain't doing enough for you. Y'all broke. Y'all alpha, y'all broke. And then we had some cute dolls on the camp. Y'all broke. So what's the point? You got to pay fees. I got to be coming over here getting slapped in the chest with my shirt off, slapping me on my chest, spitting in my face, doing all this loud talking. You got me doing jumping jacks and push-ups, reciting a Greek alphabet. I'm American. What is we remembering a Greek alphabet? When has any of y'all been Greek? I'm just sitting there like, what is going on? What's going on? I'm just blown. And I'm like, so y'all doing all this? I'm saying, what's the point of being Greek? I'm like, why don't y'all do an African association? We come from Africa. So I'm like, why you don't do an Africa association or something? Why is you in a Greek organization? Greek don't even look like us. And this language, this ain't Swahili or Zulu or Yoruba or whatever y'all, what we probably come from. How's y'all an organization and you a secret society basically because you got to keep it quiet, can't tell nobody, you ain't supposed to talk about it, but it's Greek. So I'm just confused, like, what is going on? And guess what? Everybody is in this stuff. So with me saying this, I'm talking about almost everybody. Now, my inner circle, like the guys I know like that I hang around every now and then, I don't really hang around nobody, but the guys that I'll be around, that I'll bring up to my suite at the football stadium or what have you, nobody's in a Greek organization. Nobody's in the Greek organization. And I'm just be honest with you, and no disrespect to the men that are in a Greek organization, but the reason why those of us who are not in a Greek organization is just because we all looked at it the same way. Like, it just looked at lame. It just looked like you paying for friends because none of y'all is millionaires and none of y'all is just networking to the point to where you got generational wealth and you ain't got to worry about nothing. So why is you paying fees? Why is you doing all this hollering and screaming and stomping? But it really was like, and of course you're going to have that 10% that look like they could stand on their own 2 feet. But 90%, it looked like you got to join this organization to get some kootabah. You trying to get some women, and you know if you join an organization, these women who is airbrain, because only an airbrain woman gonna come off some what's between her legs because a man is in an organization. That's only an airbrain woman. Woman who got any sense and love herself, she don't care nothing about no man being part of no Greek organization. So she is lame too if she's sleeping with a man because of the letters on his jacket. But that's what it was. These guys, they get to stomp around the campus, they get to do all this, and then the rest of us who not in it, we looking at like, whew. Well, hey, do what you gotta do, man. If that's what you gotta do to get a woman, go ahead, bro. If that's what you gotta do to feel accepted, go ahead, bro. God bless you, bro. And my teammate, he got kicked off the team. He became an alpha and lost his scholarship because it took too much with the pledging. Because now the guys who was the big brothers or whatever, it was like revenge of the nerds. Like they see a football player, none of them played football. It was only one of them played football, and then our other teammate played football, but the rest of them was like, it was like revenge of the nerds. So it was like they were trying to put the man through all kind of tomfoolery. This man had a car wreck and rode into the ditch because he was so tired driving back from their school to our school. They wrecked. This man was in the hospital for weeks, lost 17 pounds. And then after all that, the coach kicked him off the team because he had to miss practices. He had to miss games. So what kind of organization see that you in school on a football scholarship and gonna cost you your scholarship to come to a darn meeting, to be stomping around with a bunch of lames, and you at the meet, and now you done lost your scholarship and got to go home? What kind of organization? If it's for your betterment, you're not supposed to have to miss your stuff that's paying your bills right now. This paying for your college. You got to miss this. Come on now. So that's the problem with a lot of men today. What women say, why I can't find no husband? Why I can't? Because a lot of men today is lame and have no identity. So that's why they in the red pill and the MGTOW. God bless you. We'll talk soon.